What is good, LAFC faithful? It's time for your favorite pre-match segment here on Defenders of the Bank. It's time for MLS regular season match number 18 against Austin, and it's time for one more sleep. Once again, what is good, everybody, and welcome to One More Sleep. And yes, it is the 4th of July. Happy 4th to all of you celebrating out there. What is good to everybody in the chat as well. Welcome. Not sure how many people we're going to have joining us here in the chat, but it is indeed the 4th of July. I've got it as festive as possible with the LAFC warm-up kit. And of course, I got a nice, there it is, that one, Team USA scarf behind me for today. Thank you, Ruben. Love the jersey. Love this warm-up kit from, I think it was 2019. I got to go back and check, though. It was back from the YouTube days, that's for sure. One more sleep, this one, LAFC heading to Austin. And before we start any of the banter and bickering towards Austin, want to give their supporters a quick shout out, because the last time that we had any LAFC-related Austin news, it was because their supporters were supporting us here in Los Angeles. A couple of weeks ago, when all of this garbage with ICE started here in Los Angeles, at the 32-minute and 52-second mark of their match that they were playing, they held up some banners and signs in solidarity with us in Los Angeles. So props to the Austin supporters for that one. It was definitely something that went noticed here in the LAFC community. So thank you to all the Austin supporters for that moment. For 90 minutes, we will be enemies, of course, on the pitch, but at least in the stands, that was a big deal. And we really do appreciate that. One more small thing in our lineup. We know no Olivier Giroud, but the other thing that we were all wondering, Shakhtar Donetsk was making it very difficult indeed. So unfortunately, Marlon has left the club. His contract was up June 30th. And we mentioned that at the start of the season. And we mentioned that a couple of times throughout the season here on One More Sleep and on our match recap episodes. We were not sure what would be happening with Marlon. And unfortunately, Marlon's club, Shakhtar Donetsk, was apparently looking for some additional compensation in order for us to extend the loan and keep Marlon. There were some other weird contract things going on. Our buddy Celso Oliveira on Twitter said the quote from John Thorrington was, Marlon's contract negotiations were ongoing, although issues with former club in Ukraine were making it negotiations challenging at the moment. That was a few days before the June 30th deadline. And thank you to our buddy Celso for that quote and that information. So Marlon leaving the club, I mean, obviously scoring a major goal, his only goal in black and gold for LAFC on decision day of last year, which gave us the division title. I'm not sure what the inner workings of that deal were with Shakhtar Donetsk, but unfortunately, it definitely fell through at the last minute. So Marlon is gone, but I do want to mention LAFC 2 got their butts kicked today by Austin 2, 4-1. But one of the bright spots was a starter in that match, along with first-teamers Adrian Obowo and Jude Terry. Starting on the back line for LAFC 2 was Lorenzo De La Valle. And that was indeed Lorenzo De La Valle's first competitive match since September of 2023, also with LAFC 2. So perhaps we could be seeing some reinforcements on that back line. Maybe after the All-Star break, Lorenzo is ready to be with the first team and playing some first team minutes there. I do hope that this gives Nkosi Tafari a little bit more action on the back line. We've played a lot of Aaron Long and a lot of Eddie Segura. We've seen 5 in the back becoming a thing, with recently Sergi Palencia moving to that right center back option in the 5 that are playing on the back line, with Artem Smolyakov and Ryan Hollingshead playing on the outside. So could be an interesting development for LAFC moving forward, but it's nice to see Lorenzo De La Valle back on the pitch. So just a couple of things there that could affect our roster moving forward. This is the first of 5 matches until July 24th. And of course, why do we mention July 24th? That's when the transfer window opens. And it doesn't appear Heung-min Son will be the big transfer window addition for LAFC, but maybe soon. I mean, I don't know. I guess. I don't know. We'll see what happens. That was a fun little rumor mill edition with Heung-min Son. But that being said, let's talk about MLS regular season match number 18 for LAFC, but match number 21 for Austin. Because of our time in the Club World Cup and matches being moved, we have 3 matches in hand on Austin, and we are sitting on the same number of points. Both LAFC and Austin have 7 wins and 5 ties, but for Austin, that means 3 more losses on the regular season. And for Austin, the big thing to look at, they are 9th in the Western Conference with their 26 points. They have a -8 differential on the season, but that is because of a league low, not a Western Conference low, a league low 15 goals scored in their 21 matches. This is a club that has been shut out 8 different times in 2025. And yes, those 15 goals are the fewest in MLS. I have not been to Austin's 6th Street. I would love to go to Austin's 6th Street. I have been to see an Austin match. We went last year, and it was a lot of fun. But this is a club that has been shut out 8 times in 2025. And this is also a club, though, that have shut out clubs 7 times in 2025. Now, granted, 2 of those matches that we're talking about are 0-0 matches, so neither club scored a goal. But this is a club that has a hard time scoring goals. But amongst those 7 shutouts that Austin has had this season was one at BMO Stadium March 15th in a very, very frustrating 1-0 loss. LAFC fell to Austin at home at BMO Stadium. An 11th minute goal by Guillaume Biro held up. And unfortunately, LAFC, despite 71% possession, despite outshooting them, but not putting more than they did on target, unfortunately, LAFC fell 1-0. And Fluffhead, indeed, beware the Ides of March, as LAFC fell on March 15th, 1-0. This is the 13th meeting ever between the 2 sides, and while that falls somewhere in the middle of the teams that LAFC has seen the most, this is actually tied with the Houston Dynamo as the opponent that Austin has played the most in their team's history. LAFC 7 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws all time going into this match. So we have had the better of the matchup. But as we mentioned, already a win over LAFC earlier this season. It's Philly. Philly in the chat. Philly, come on in. I don't know where you are, man. I miss you. Come on in. 2 MLS All-Stars adorning the roster. Oh, man, I'm having trouble with my slides. Why aren't they loading? Two, I say, MLS All-Stars adorning the roster for Austin. And, of course, that would be because of a little bit of help from their manager, Nico Estevez. Nico Estevez is the coach of the All-Star team in 2025 because they are the ones hosting. So he gets to coach, and he got to put some of his players, or at least one of his players that, look, I get it. He's got 7 shutouts on the season, but Brad Stuver in goal, a little bit of a, I'll say, controversial pick for sure in goal. Hugo Lloris, who's had a better season, should have absolutely been starting, but unfortunately, he picked his boy, Brad Stuver, and a player who MLS is really trying to pump hard with this new format, obviously, of playing Liga MX, because he left Monterrey, is now back in MLS with Austin, is Brandon Vasquez. And Brandon Vasquez is one of, if not the better number 9s in the entire league. I think it is imperative that they get Brandon Vasquez going in this match because he is their guy. To be perfectly honest, he's the only guy that I would be drawing a circle around if I were LAFC. He is the talisman for this club and someone who very clearly they will be trying to get the ball going to over and over and over again. So please don't buy the plain all-star jersey. I love Olivier Giroud is in the chat with us, despite him being in Lille now, as of course he is over. He's over with Lille. I think my slides might pop up accidentally here. Let's see. Oh no, good. They didn't. Sorry, a little minor technical difficulties here on the back end. But that being said, all right. Here we go. Sorry, I just got a text that was a little distracting. Billy, come on the pod, man. Come on. I didn't know if you'd be around. I will not. I don't know. I'm probably going to buy the All-Star jersey. Don't worry. I always do, especially if Denis Bouanga scores. But we'll see. We'll see what goes on with the All-Star jersey. Nico Estevez, in his first season with Austin, 9 wins, 8 losses, 5 draws overall. He is managing the All-Star team. Of course, he is the former manager of Dallas with 98 matches and Valencia B. But like I said, after Vasquez, the cupboard is pretty bare. They only have one player on their team with multiple goals and multiple assists this season. And that is Ousmane Boukari. 2 goals, 3 assists, and he is the only player with multiple goals and multiple assists on the season. No other player for Austin has more than 1 goal and or assist in their column. 8 goals for Brandon Vasquez in 21 matches, 6 assists for Owen Wolf in all of his matches that he has played this season. But the only player with at least 2 and 2 is Ousmane Boukari with 2 goals and 3 assists. And like we said, this is a club that has only scored 15 goals on the season. They are not a good offensive team. And of course, playing in the midfield, wearing number 6. And when he starts, he is their captain. He has made 12 starts on the season in all competitions. Ilie Sanchez has been their captain 12 times. He has played in 18 total matches this season. He is 12th on Austin in minutes. 12th on Austin in minutes. 12 starts on the season, 18 total matches played. He is their captain when he has 1 assist on the season and 5 yellow cards. He has already served a yellow card suspension this season, has Ilie Sanchez. So not contributing much to the offense, Ilie Sanchez, but he is definitely still wearing the captain's armband, this time for Austin, and it sucks to see him in that Austin jersey because I would love to have him on the roster. And Ruben, yes, I was actually going to address that right at the end. There have been rumors of Diego Palacios, cheeky, coming back to MLS and maybe potentially signing with Austin FC. That would be a kick in the junk for sure. We've seen Edward Atuesta do it. We've seen Diego Rossi do it. We've seen Chicho Arango do it. And now potentially we could see Cheeky Palacios signing with Austin. Jose Cifuentes is also a free agent now. I saw that. He's got some splaining to do if he wants to come back to LAFC. He was playing with 1 foot out the door for most of his final maybe 15 games or so this season. So I should say when he played for us, not this season, obviously. So, all right, let's get into it real quick. I know a lot of people want to enjoy their 4th of July. Let's make it short and sweet. Let's get into our players to watch. For me, he came so close last match, so I'm going to keep pumping my boy Ryan Hollingshead. He needs 1 more goal to become the all-time leading scorer in Major League Soccer's regular season. And I think he's close. I think he's going to get plenty of minutes to get there, and I hope he does it against Austin. And I'm going to go with their playmaker rather than their goal scorer. I'm going to go with Owen Wolff with 6 assists on the season. He is likely to be the one stirring the drink. I really do believe Brandon Vasquez could get on the end of one for sure, but it will likely come from Owen Wolff as he has 6 assists on the season, and no other player other than Bukhari has more than 3. Other than Bukhari, by the way, no other player has more than 1. Excuse me, Bukhari has 3. So it's been a tough season for Austin offensively, but I've got Ryan Hollingshead, who I think, again, is going to get plenty of minutes in this one, and Owen Wolff as my players to watch. For LAFC, I think it's pretty simple. We need to win the midfield and mark Brandon Vasquez. If we can keep Brandon Vasquez off the scoreline, I think LAFC has a real chance. Now, that being said, Brandon Vasquez is the one that hurt us, obviously, when we lost 1-0. It was Guillaume Biro who scored the goal, and he is a backline defender. So Biro could definitely factor in again. I mean, hey, he scored his only goal of the season against us. It could be somebody else who gets in on it. And I think from what I've read, right, I believe Hugo Lloris may be missing his 2nd match in a row. So it likely will be David Ochoa between the pipes. So we'll see what happens if, LAFC, Steve Cherundolo did say Hugo Lloris is out. And again, this is the first of 5 matches up until the July 24th transfer window opening. So 5 more matches until the window opens. LAFC is going to try to stay as healthy as possible to the All-Star break. But I've got us needing to win the midfield. And I mean, in the simplest of all tactical analyses that you will see against Austin all season, mark Brandon Vasquez. He can't be allowed to create. He can't be allowed to have space. He can't be allowed to get in behind. He is not a speed demon of any kind. He is a player who is a straight line 9, but as good as there is. He only has 1 assist on the season. Not a great playmaker is Brandon Vasquez, but he is a fantastic goal scorer. With that being said, I think Brandon Vasquez might get one, but LAFC is going to come in up to the task. I think that Denis Bouanga gets back on track with this one. I think he gets at least 1, if not both. Obviously, I'm hoping for Ryan Hollingshead to get 1 of these goals so that he can tie the record, tie Graham Zusi, become the all-time leadingest scorer in Major League Soccer history for a defender. He's obviously got the overall goals in all competitions for a Major League Soccer defender, but it would be pretty cool to see Ryan Hollingshead do that. He obviously had a long career with FC Dallas, so he would be doing it relatively close to where he played for much of his career. But that being said, I think LAFC is going to need a spectacular defensive match from our back line, which we played very, very well in our last match and still lost 1-0. It was a frustrating loss for sure. But we played very well in that match. So I think Aaron Long, I think Eddie Segura, those guys will have to be up to the task and ready to play a full 90. And hopefully they can stay healthy. And obviously with Sergi Palencia and Ryan Hollingshead back there in front of David Ochoa, I think that we'll be fine. Ochoa faced 1 shot on target last match. The unfortunate part about that 1 shot is that it went in. Our midfield needs to be a little bit more dynamic. We need to get a little bit more out of Igor Jesus and Marky Delgado in terms of the offensive end of things. Timothy Tillman has been just fine in terms of being an offensive midfielder. The only problem I have with our midfield is that we don't have a single midfielder who can really create the way that they need to. And that being said, up top, we've got to get David Martinez and Nathan Ordaz going. I think those are going to be 2 of our 3 starters for every single match leading into the transfer window, obviously with Denis Bouanga being the 3rd. I think David Martinez needs to see the pitch, and he needs to see it often, and he needs to know that going into this transfer window, we are going to give him every opportunity to show the world what he has if he wants to go somewhere. And rumors are, the whispers are, that he wants to go somewhere. If he does, he needs to start putting more goals in the back of the net. You can't be outscored by the likes of Nathan Ordaz. I think Nathan Ordaz is a fantastic player and love seeing him in the middle for sure. But I think David Martinez may be the most talented player on this roster, and I think we need to see a lot more from him. So he needs to be given the full opportunity. And now with no Olivier Giroud, obviously, our buddy's in the chat, but he's not on the pitch. With no Olivier Giroud, I think the window opens up not for Jeremy Ebobisse, but for a player like David Martinez, and for Nathan Rodez to start in the middle with Jeremy Ebobisse coming off the bench. So I've got 2-1. Let me know what you guys have in the chat because this is going to be a good one. This is an important 3 points on the road, and LAFC needs to do everything they can to start stacking points, to start climbing these teams as we are currently sitting in 7th. So I've got 2-1. I want to know what all of you guys have. I love you all very much. Thank you all again. However it is that you consume your Defenders of the Bank content, we appreciate you guys so much, and have a wonderful, happy, and safe rest of your 4th of July. Bye-bye.